Here we are at Music Twindustry from the Great Hair Studios in
Flatbush,
Brooklyn.
Here we are here with Marat Berenstein. Marat is at NYU Clive Davis School of Music.
Clive Davis Institute of Recorded Music.
I'm sorry. When I first met you, you were in education as well as music management.
That's right. And I only knew you as a music manager until we went down to Drexel together that one time where you raised the roof as an educator. And I was like, wait a minute,
Why
this
were you
guy's...
there?
Because I don't know.
We spoke.
Lay it on us. What are you doing at Clive Davis these days?
Yeah, they brought me back. So, yes, when we first met, I was faculty at the Clive Davis Institute of Recorded Music. That was from 2011 to 2018. And the Clive Davis Institute was in its old location in Soho. It has now moved to Brooklyn. So,
whereabouts in Brooklyn?
370 J Street. J Street,
that's right downtown.
Yeah.
Metro Tech's a beautiful area, man.
There's an entire NYU campus there now.
Wow,
a lot of folks don't know about it. The move happened during 2019, going into 2020. So the first few years were quiet. Nobody was really there.
I remember the infant stages.
Yeah. You
Teaching classes.
Don't hate yourself, dude.
Coming in rather and guest speaking in your classes.
Yeah. You were there from the beginning.
That was nice.
So now there's new leadership, a new borough, a new building.
It's all new.
Beautiful studios. We
heard that you have the Beastie Boys studios.
We
there
do.
Too.
We have a oscilloscope. The Beastie Boys donated a oscilloscope to us.
That's so cool.
We hired folks to pull it out of storage and rebuild it and reactivate it.
Amazing.
And it's beautiful. You'll get to see it.
I really can't wait to see
it's
it.
awesome. Students use it every day. We have 3 other studios. We have amazing facilities, an abundance of equipment, gear. Really, really cool. And so a new role was created for me, for your boy. So I'm currently the Director of Strategic Partnerships and Industry Relations.
That's awesome.
It is Perfect person to talk to.
Yeah, thank you.
That's right.
It is a non-curricular role. So in this role, I do not teach.
Oh, that's a bummer. Do you miss teaching?
I do, and I did start to teach.
You did? You're like, come on, let me back in.
I couldn't stay
He's
away.
He's like peering into windows with kids' heads. And
Pedagogy.
Need to share some knowledge.
Yeah, I'm wrapping up. It's the end of the semester. I'm wrapping up the artist management class.
Amazing.
So that's been fun, and that's in addition to the day gig. And the day gig really is about engaging with, wrangling, and really bringing in our industry friends, building that orbit out, bringing in advisors, bringing in internship opportunities, bringing in conferences, panels, workshops, artist residencies. We're really known for that. We just
I knew you had Joey Badass.
We just wrapped up our residency with Joey Badass.
That's amazing.
And that's been so cool.
Over the years, you guys have had some real heavy people in that role.
I mean, Pharrell's the big one, and that's what we're known for. Pharrell, and he went viral, and one of our students became a superstar.
I remember because I tried to sign her.
Everyone.
I was like, wow, this girl's at Clive Davis?
Yes,
wow, amazing.
Yeah, I mean, it was like one of the biggest bidding wars ever. And she's probably like one of our most visible and proud alums.
NYU Records.
NYU Records.
Yeah.
Why not?
But look, she did it correctly. She retained her rights. Her label is named after her.
Amazing.
I mean, she did it correctly. She did it right. And
she had the education to not fuck it up.
I mean, that's kind of what we're doing here. We're trying to put artists into their own business. It's like, hey, make artist records for you.
Absolutely.
Insert your name here, records, right?
That's right. And then look, I tell my students and I tell artists this all the time. You scroll down on Apple Music, you scroll down on Spotify, you can see what that name is under exclusive license to whomever.
That's the best deal.
Yeah.
Yeah, license.
That's right.
License being the right word.
She kept everything on the pub side as well. I mean,
Amazing.
she did it exactly the way we want our students to do it. And she partnered and engaged with the major companies and all that cool stuff. So, Pharrell was like our big resident in 2016. We've also had Corinne Bailey Ray. We've had Dawn Richard, Jack Antonoff.
Oh, wow.
Swiss Beats.
That's great.
Ryan Leslie. Joey's been awesome. Joey's been our youngest resident.
How old is he?
Joey's 29.
Wow.
And he's a graduate. Speaking of Brooklyn, he's a graduate of the high school I graduated from.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Which is what?
Edward R. Murrow.
Oh, he went to Edward. I'm trying to get my daughter in there.
Oh, it's a great school.
It's a great school.
I
dated a girl who went from Murrow.
There you go.
Yeah. That's Joel's claim to fame.
There we go.
Yeah, I know that school.
Two more things about the building that is really, really cool.
Yeah.
It is the former MTA headquarters.
Oh, no kidding.
Oh, is that right?
So the loading dock, where they
wow.
used to bring the money through, we turned that into a stage.
Amazing.
Oh, wow. So you can have gigs out back?
We have shows that we run every Friday. Students run this venue.
That's bananas.
Yeah, it's about an 80 to 100 cap room.
Awesome.
We have a
so it's
venue
got
in the
covered.
building.
Okay,
Yeah,
got it.
and then there's one more thing that's kind of cool. It's a Clive Davis Museum open to the public on the ground floor. So
What does that
How about
include?
that?
you go downstairs and you really kind of enter this universe of like the Clive Davis timeline of
So
artists.
it's like Barry Manilow and
You have Barry, you have Whitney, you have Alicia,
not Mariah.
you have Aretha, you have all the
Right.
Clive artists.
All
you have
through
all their
Arista Records.
awesome.
Arista Records. You have all these cool, just
Amazing.
things, just like cool items and awards and just.
That's
yeah,
awesome.
Yeah, it's really fun.
I'd love to
That's
see
excellent. We're gonna have to go by there.
You have to come by.
Yeah, I always thought that the students had fantastic ideas.
Yeah,
You know, and like,
yeah.
hey, well, I'm not here to judge. I'm here to like just be like, that's a cool idea,
Some of those ideas, we literally see them realized in real life
and become businesses or thriving.
Yeah, or just like people.
Sounds like
brand-
NYU needs an investment sector to support these guys.
Totally. Oh my
You'd be
god.
like, yeah, we'll spend your thing out for 10%, man.
Yeah,
Well, we're a non-for-profit.
Hook them up with an
so
MBA program and
yeah.
they give them all
Joel's
jobs.
trying to change everything.
I like it. I like it.
He's
All
like,
right.
don't let him in the building. You know?
Flipping the whole system. I like it. I like, or maybe we should let them do.
How big is the program now? How many
The
kids go?
program has 250 students total.
Wow. Okay.
It is 4 years. It is undergrad only.
Wow.
Amazing.
Must be
Okay.
very competitive to get in.
It is super competitive to get in. I do not know the rate. It is probably up there with like Harvard or
Yeah.
something
Wow.
in terms of
Right.
the filter is so high,
Right.
and the kids coming in are just so.
You know what's
beyond
interesting though is you
talented.
guys NYU,
Yeah, I imagine.
was, and this program specifically was like one of the first, right? As far as like music business program. It seems like so many other universities in like tertiary markets and like weird parts of the world have music business programs now.
Yeah.
Am I wrong?
No, I mean, we're 20 years old. There is another program at NYU that's been around for 50 years.
Right,
and that's
right.
the original sort of music business program.
Right.
It's out over at Steinhardt. Those are dear friends of ours.
Yep. No competition whatsoever.
No competition whatsoever, although it is literally competition.
I was being facetious.
Well, yeah, I know, because it's two separate degrees, two
Right,
different
right, right.
schools. But I think what you're talking about is programs like there's Berkeley, there's Berkeley in Boston, right?
Sure.
There's Frost in Miami, there's
Right.
USC Thornton in LA. But these are schools that have been around for decades, and
Of course.
remember the approach to all of these schools is different than ours. We're like
Right.
a one of one. So
Okay.
the approach to most of these schools is conservatorial.
Oh, I
right?
see.
We are more of, we want to see your creative sample.
Right.
We want to see what type of entrepreneur, what type of creative and artist entrepreneur you identify
I guess that
with
is true.
At,
It's
at
probably
age
more
16,
like-
17 when you're applying to college.
More like chamber music and like
Yeah, dude.
I have a good way of explaining it. Like, if you're a musician
Right.
and you want to be in the studio all day, just playing music all day, and you really don't have a knack for building your brand and doing all the things that you have to do to build a business these days, you might be happier at a Berkeley or
Right,
a Steinhardt
right,
or
right.
one of those amazing programs. If you want to come in and build a business and be on multiple different areas of the arts and that's why we go for the kinds of artists we go when we do residencies. Joey touches multiple areas.
Right,
You have
right.
to touch multiple areas in the creative space now. You have to be a content creator, you have to be a visual person, you
True.
have to be a photographer, you have to
Be
be
a
an
business
influencer, a business person, and on top of that, you have to still play drums and
Yep.
produce
And be cool.
And be cool.
I don't have time for all that.
You know, it's
Most
funny
people don't.
because it's like, well, we always were like, be cool first is like the number one attribute. Because if you're not cool, you're not going to win anybody's hearts.
And then yeah, we talk about the people side of it. It's like the human aspect. You want to be a kind person. You want to be a nice human. You want to like
exactly. It's the
you
only
know.
currency you have when you're a young person.
100%.
The only currency you have as a human.
as a human.
Is your reputation.
Let's be
And
honest,
that's the
man.
thing that really doesn't get talked about in schools because we
Yeah.
do prepare young people, I think, or we attempt to with like, or at least tell them the kinds of skills that are required. And you have to get good grades, and you have to build
Right.
your network, and your network is your net worth,
Yep,
and your
yep.
peer group is important and stuff. But we really don't get into the fact that you have to be a good person.
Right.
You have to.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, hopefully that's inherent knowledge.
Yeah.
You know.
Hopefully.
hopefully let's pray for the
They'll
kids.
find out.
I'm just actually stoked that this is offered now.
Yeah.
Because I was pre-med in college and I hate blood. So like
there was no other option.
There was no other options. I was like running a record label as a punk rock kid. I'm like,
what do you mean there's no other option than pre-med?
No. For me,
for music,
you could have done I don't know history.
I did a year of
business.
pre-med, and then I'm like, I'm going to do English. Like,
yes, that's what I'm saying.
I never thought to do business, but that would have been the best thing for me.
What was your major?
I was religion and
metaphysics
and advertising, and I studied Japanese.
So there were no guidance counselors at your school.
No,
is what you're saying?
my guidance counselor was this nun who was like, and she just was like, I think you got the grades to go anywhere, and I'm going to go to Newhouse. And
you went to
like,
Syracuse.
She's like, do a safe school. I'm like, nope. And so I applied to one school, Newhouse at Syracuse.
Yeah.
And that was it. And I went there.
And by the way, that's another
Syracuse has got a great Marty Bandier program.
Yeah, they have the Marty Bandier.
See, that didn't exist. And
that didn't exist when I went there.
Joel was like
teaching. I would have been there.
Like, weren't you teaching music in the context of?
No, I did like a couple stuff in the marketing school about putting records out.
Oh, okay.
You know, just products and stuff because it was like widgets.
Yeah.
And how do I do that specifically? And how do we
what SKU numbers?
How do we put 7 inches out? How do we reach the market? How do we actually reach the stores?
Do you guys want to be in the classroom and teaching? Or do you feel like this,
I do.
This is sort of a way to educate?
For years, I've been wanting to do that. I've been harassing you. I thought it, but if I haven't,
just give me a.
harass you now.
No, it's very
I'll be
difficult.
like, you know,
it's a lot of
Chat
work.
GPT, create me a syllabus.
See, you went right to AI. He's like, of course I'll teach.
I still, I dropped.
Of course,
out.
I can teach.
I dropped out, put school on hold. I went to Villanova, and I'm still on a leave of absence.
Yeah.
30 years later.
Any day now.
I got
waiting for you to come back.
I got my transcript recently, and I did horrible. I didn't do very well because I was like running my business. I was like interning at a record label, and I was trying to do the medicine thing at night or during the day.
Medicine thing.
Yeah,
The school thing, which should have
ayahuasca for everyone.
been your private. It should have been your priority, man.
Yeah, no, it was terrible. It was not. It was like the third thing on the list.
Yeah.
I'm like, I gotta get these 7 inches out.
And so Jason was in Philly, and I was in Syracuse, and they were competitive schools, and I guess they're competitors in basketball or something.
Yeah, NCAA.
And yeah, apparently I never took advantage. I never even knew we had a sports team. So I was so preoccupied with the hardcore scene and putting records out and going. I don't remember school either.
But it kind of sounds like if CDI was around, it could have been a place where both of y'all.
Oh yeah,
we would have flourished.
Because it's for hustlers.
I would have completely been like, this is for me. This is for me.
Yeah.
Are you still managing?
No.
No. Okay.
No.
It's funny because when I first met you, I was like, you should go all in on education. You're like, yeah, I still got these clients.
It's true.
I'm still managing,
Yeah.
and I'm like, why would you want to manage if you could just educate?
Yeah.
I asked that question.
It's the only job there you do a great.
Yeah.
It's the only career where you do a great job and they fire you the next day.
Yeah,
Totally.
Yeah.
Totally. Listen, one of the things we talk about in the artist management class that I got to teach this semester is here's how it works. Here's all the ways in which it doesn't work, and what are the ways in which it could work in the future. I mean, it's a broken model, right? Like it's a broken model because it's commission based. You can build, and like you said, one day it's over, and you have no equity.
There are some people
benefits,
no equity, exactly.
You have nothing.
There are some artists that now
big
pay their managers like a salary.
Yeah.
Like they're just like, you're an
For
employee.
sure.
Yeah, you're an
You're an
employee.
employee. And it's like, oh, cool. Like,
But I would rather be part of the building team, because you're doing all the groundwork. And
yeah, but that's the stuff that gets replaced.
There's a really great artist called Brent Fias.
Yeah, is he incorporated?
He and his manager created a company.
There you go. That's what I've been saying all along.
50-50 on.
Amazing.
There you go, LLC
he's a
style.
great artist. He's popular. They're doing well. Like that is a model.
That's awesome.
That's what I've been proposing all along, is that bands create LLCs and cut their managers in on it, and so that they can make cooperative decisions and split everything.
But the 50-50 is key because
that's killer.
Because in that presentation, as a manager, I would go, yeah, we're going to do something, and the artist goes, cool, I'm going to own 80% of this company, you own 20, and 50-50 is very different.
That's really fair.
Very different.
That's incredible.
Yeah, and he'll be hustling as hard
artist.
he'll be working as hard as the artist.
Yeah.
Absolutely, but then that leads us to believe they're going to be doing activity that has nothing to do with music.
Absolutely.
Right? In that case, it is 50-50. It balances out. But yes, there's plenty of super A-list artists that pay
a
manager, and that manager kind of functions more as like a GM, like
you're running my business.
Manager,
exactly.
So can I ask you guys a question?
Yes.
Absolutely. Tell me about Earthprogram.
Oh. Well, we don't know what to talk about. People ask us about it.
No, it's a good
We are sitting in Earthprogram's headquarters right now, which we basically operate as the arms and legs of artists to put them in their own business. So what does that mean? It's distribution.
Okay.
It's marketing. It's advertising. It's know-how and strategy. And then we also offer publishing and sync promotion.
Got it.
So all of those services that typically an artist would even know where to start with, we're doing under one roof. We're doing it effectively, efficiently, and transparently.
So you're not any one of those things. You're not a label. You're not a publisher. You're a service provider.
We have labels. We have our own labels.
Yeah,
but we're not a label.
Yeah, we don't act as a label. We prefer that the artists are the bosses of their own label. And that they make their own decisions, and we're just merely here to act on their behalf. We have insane networks. We have insane buying power. We have insane, distribution channels. So why not work with us?
And we have a lot of good social capital. Like we talked about at the beginning.
For sure.
Because we're trading on our relationships to like really help people out.
Yeah.
And it's not something that this is not something you can just walk in and be like, I'm here. Like
some people try.
They do try, but and I'm like, good effort, and then they're usually like doing something else a year later.
Yeah.
But like if you've suffered through the music business the way that we have for the last 30 years, like we got a lot of goodwill. To an extent, like we only work with people that we can get on the phone, not meaning the artists are partners. Like I can call our distributor partners and be like, hey, what's up? There's no like info at listserv, customer
fill
service.
out this form.
Customer service at
like
it's like the frustrations of like people putting out music. We're trying to like make that
But the way I say it is we have the map, and the map changes for each artist, but we do have a map, and we take them through the jungle of whatever the music industry is that day, and with an endpoint. And that goal could be getting them to 10,000 Spotify monthly listeners, or doubling their Instagram feed or followers, or whatever's important to them. Really, what's their goal?
It's usually a smattering of a lot of things.
Yeah.
So I like to say it's business development for artists and labels.
Yeah.
So because we do work with labels too that are like we don't have to schedule this properly. We have no deployment plan. We're like, okay, cool. Let's like give you discipline. Like let's show you how to do this once, and then we're actually like disintermediating our own business by doing this. Like we want clients to come back, but like I don't expect them to stick around forever. Like we're like let's show you how to do it. And they're like, cool, that's it. I'm like, that's it. Like do repeat and rinse and repeat, but like change the plan. But like. These are the best practices that we follow. This is how it should be done, until we realize that it needs to be done a different way. And we do shift with the tides. It's more of a speedboat than it is a large.
I think that's a really clever model, because oddly enough, they will come back as
they do,
because they're going to want you to teach them the next thing.
They do, and things change. The algorithm always changes. Advertising changes. Strategy changes. Like where we were once like chasing playlists, for instance. Like those are less relevant.
For sure.
Now, like it's like it used to be actually game changing, or it'd be like getting a song on the radio. Like I got New Music Friday, cool. Like it really has little value now.
Right.
It really does. And
what do you think? What do you think kind of replaced that as the holy grail of like what is
of discovery?
Of the what is the chase now? If the chase now isn't playlist,
I mean, it's like I think it's a holistic approach. I think it's trying to succeed on multiple levels and not just one.
Yeah.
Like you can't make any money at Spotify. Number one.
Yeah.
So what do you make?
Gosh,
money
they
at?
make money though.
They make money.
They're doing great.
They're doing fine,
amazing.
man. And
I think I read they're worth more than the 3 major labels combined. As of today.
God bless. And there's just shitty music coming out every day that goes on that platform. And
there's just too much music. And at the end of the day, it's like you could succeed on one platform, and what does your success look like on others?
Sure.
So there's such an emphasis on Spotify, but we're like, what about Deezer? What about Tidal? What about Apple Music? Like there are listener bases at those places, and that they are consuming music just as much. But
there's so many more.
There's global DSPs as well.
Yeah,
of course.
So it's not just a approach to one vendor.
But look what happened when we did approach one vendor and chase one vendor. We ended up building their business.
Yeah, 100%.
And now they're like, oh, we're worth more.
Thank you very much.
We're good.
But they did give the major labels massive percentages to play nice.
Yeah.
Like they give them a lot.
And
of
they
stock.
divested a lot of that.
Yeah, and like
the incentive was there.
So like it's like, hey, let's play nice with these guys because they're giving us a lot of future stock incentive. And I mean, there's never like not a quid pro quo. It's just the thing with publishing really needs to get better. That's that. At the end of the day, I'm like, cool. Like master owners, IP owners on the recorded music side will succeed at scale. Like if they have millions and millions and millions of streams, which is really hard to do, then you're making money.
Right.
But like if you are a songwriter on a record that probably has 9 other songwriters on it. I looked at some credits recently and I was like, holy shit, there's 20 songwriters on here. And it's like, I wrote the hi-hat pattern. Like it's crazy. It's like so diluted.
I wrote the harmonies.
I did this. And like, it's just crazy because you're not really making the income is so disparate. You know?
Oh, it's crazy little because you're already getting so much less than the label side.
That's what I'm trying to say.
And then you divide that number by 20.
Totally. 20% of 0 is 0.
So when you say the publishing has to get better,
it just needs to be recognized.
You're saying it needs to receive more money
Absolutely.
than it currently does.
Yeah, mechanical royalties as well as performance
But then where
royalties.
does that come out of? Because the pie
It should come out of the streaming platforms.
Come out of the streaming platforms.
Because they're the biggest offenders.
Spotify?
Yeah.
We're coming for you.
They can afford it. We just talked about their valuation.
They literally can afford it.
They can afford it. They just don't want to do it.
Yeah.
And I think lobbying needs to happen better, like on the NMPA level, and it's just interesting to see. Like we suffered from this summer because we distribute a lot of music through Virgin. Universal and TikTok got into a pissing match, and so all of our music was taken down off of TikTok. But there's also like an NMPA license that's about to expire as well.
Yep.
So I really don't know what that means as far as like that platform specifically.
And back to Earth Program, how many, if you can share this, how many artists do you have on your sort of, I don't want to call it a roster.
10. No, I'm joking.
But like,
we put out about 40 to 50 new songs a month.
Wow.
So people are coming, people are going. It's just like
we're not exclusive to artists. That's what's cool about us is like we only care about the songs.
Yeah.
So it could be
they
labels,
can work with anybody they want.
It could be anyone, right?
A label could come to us and put out one record and then just chill with us for 3 years.
But we don't really like that. I mean, we prefer to release a lot of music.
Yeah.
Because it's like, hey, January, here's a song. Here, February, here's a song. Here's March, here's a song.
Sure.
Consistent releasing creates momentum.
Yeah.
So yeah, we do a lot of releases, but they're in every genre. We're musically schizophrenic, as long as it kind of like
musically schizophrenic.
Yeah, we don't prefer anything.
Yeah, I'm not loyal to any one genre.
That's the thing about genres nowadays. It's like
genres are so irrelevant.
Yeah, and also like artists are like
there's a subgenre of every genre.
Yeah, and I feel like artists nowadays are like, nah, I'm not this. My genre is creativity.
Yeah, definitely.
Don't tell me I'm this.
You can't put it all in one album though, because that leads to like confusion. Some people try.
Sure.
Some people try, but it's like it's usually like, let's take this journey over many albums. The thing is that my kids are musically.
What are they putting on
savvy.
stuff?
My children?
Yeah.
No, they're just. They're putting me onto stuff.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
okay,
man. I went and saw Netspend this weekend.
Okay.
Which was like.
He's a 17-year-old SoundCloud rapper.
I've never smoked that much weed without smoking weed. I'm like, and literally, it's like 13-year-old kids to like 20 some odd kids in a mosh pit, right? And like, it's just unbelievable. I'm like, I was talking to my daughter. I'm like, this reminds me of the hardcore scene, but with less weed.
Yeah.
What about you? Do your young ones put you on to stuff?
No.
No.
No, my son likes he likes these like NEMs, like I said, and from Manchester is all he listens to.
Okay.
It's just I can't understand a word the guy's saying. And then
it hurts my ears.
It hurts my ears, yeah. And then my daughter likes things like
she likes everything from the 90s.
She likes everything.
90s.
She's like really into Slow Dive and Mazzy Star.
She hit me up the other day because
Jeff Buckley and
wow.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Is there anything that you want to promote the website or the Instagram or
social media?
Yeah. It's Clive Davis Inst. On Instagram. That's our
INST.
That's our main platform. Follow us. I am Marat Berenstein on all the platforms. Now there's like a million platforms.
Yep, right on. And you can find us
do yours.
earthprogram.com.
There we go.
And what is our Instagram?
At Earth Program Music.
Earth Program Music, which is right here.
This is it.
Well, thanks for coming through, dude.
Oh, man. Thank you guys.
Thank you so
been
much.
meaning to do this
This is
forever.
awesome, man.
And,
this is amazing.
Yeah, dude.